Are you ready for the best damn sports radio show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the court. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, then listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Stripes like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And I apologize if I was blasting out your speakers there, guys. I'm a little rusty at this, apparently. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckasha here with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. Check out the blog page. And, of course, check out the members-only page as well. I am not for sure what is going on with the sound, but we'll get that figured out. But let's welcome Combs to the show. Combs.
I was sitting here like this, like...
Yeah,
what is going on?
I was looking at the bars and they're, I have it marked like on my mixer, like how far to turn it up and turn it down and stuff and fade in and fade out. I was on the marks, but everything was redded out, blasting out. So, I don't know what happened there. So I apologize for that. Let me go ahead and
Rookie.
Is it a rookie mistake, or is it just I rely on muscle memory so much that I don't look at anything else like anymore?
Either way, same difference. But anyway, I see Tori already over here in the chat talking crap, saying I was going to use Packer up and go home. The Cubs have already lost this game. Buddy, calm down. It's the top of the second, and it's only 3-0, and you're still the Brewers. So, calm down.
Yes, but the Brewers did come back last night, Combs, and made a little bit of a game there for like a little while, right?
Yeah, for about an inning. And then the Cubs put them away.
And let's surprise somebody here. Wyatt. Oh, no, he finally looked up. He got the chocolate out of his mouth just in time. What is going on with the Wyatt Williams at manhour_TWW? What's up, man?
What's going on, man? Glad to be here.
Wyatt, you need to come something a little bit better than that. Hey, what's up?
Oh, sorry. Hold on.
Let's
try this again.
Let's try this again.
Okay, there you go.
And welcome to the show, the Wyatt Williams. Wyatt, what's going on, buddy?
What's up, Man Hour Nation? How we doing?
You still exactly said
it's still the same thing, but this time you had a Packers mask on your face. So this time you just looked stupid while you sounded stupid.
You want me to scream?
No, you gotta say more than just, hey, what's up? Like, I mean, just get right into it like I did, talking with Tori Anderson, Yeah. I mean, jeez, crow.
Yeah. Well, I thought I broke my leg earlier. If that makes anybody, feel better. I was playing basketball.
Could lead with that stuff.
Yeah,
you could be like, hey, guys, what's going on?
Here we go.
I think I broke my leg.
Third time's the charm. Let's do this again.
All right, go, Buck, your turn.
All right, guys. So apparently we need to welcome, I guess, the weakest link to the show, Wyatt Williams at manhour_TWW. Welcome to the show,
the
Wyatt.
Weakest wink.
What's
wink?
up, Wyatt?
But what is up, Man Hour Nation? I almost broke my leg earlier. So got a pretty good story about that when I'm playing basketball, and our court is concrete, but apparently there was some
That's too much, Wyatt. We don't need to hear all that. Plus, we got some other stuff we need to get into here. So thank you for showing up. Thank you for, being here.
To be here.
Yeah,
glad to be here.
What's up, guys? And that'll be the show for today. No, but now
I'm surprised we haven't been canceled by now. Anyway, so
now I am kind of intrigued. Were you playing 1-on-1 versus your girlfriend, and she drove you to the hoop and she broke your ankles?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, that's how we're going to end the show there, because Wyatt got muted again. Me and Combs, we are 2 for 2, and the show hasn't even started yet, man. Whew. Man.
God.
Speaking.
Jesus.
All right, seriously though, this time, Wyatt, how'd you almost break your leg?
Yeah. We aren't going to mute you this time, Wyatt. Come on, buddy.
I saw Combs' hand move.
My hand's sitting right here.
I saw it move.
So
I
how
saw
did you break your leg?
Yeah.
Come on.
No.
Anyway, Buck, let's move on because we don't need to hear from Wyatt about how he broke his leg.
So one time, I almost broke my leg too. I was getting ready for like a show, and I said, "What's up, guys?" And then Combs just like took his footstool and like kicked me with it, and was like, "Oh no, what's going on?"
That was, boy. God, you know what? Big X listeners, Big X Radio, I am sorry. You guys are not going to get those 5 minutes of your life back.
No.
But, I promise you we have a jam-packed show. We've got some good stuff. Holy jeezum.
I was basically following Wyatt's suit there, guys. But it is baseball season, guys. We are full swing with baseball. And I want to flash back a couple of days to the Reds-Cardinals opening day series there. Yes, opening day for the Reds was last week, not this week. Just for people to know, they're over there at Jeffersonville. Just so you know, opening day was last week. But there were several players that got fined and suspended for a on-field brawl. So Combs, like, how do you feel about players getting suspended for fighting during a baseball game?
First of all, this is, man, you're taking away one of my what does. But anyway, we'll get into it right now.
My bad.
Because to suspend Nicholas Castellanos for what happened, it wasn't even a brawl. He got hit by a pitch, which was because he hit a home run and they felt like he watched it a little bit too long, the at-bat before. So then he gets hit by a pitch. As he's coming in to score the play at the plate, the pitcher kneels in his back while he's trying to tag him out. So he gets up and he just stands above him and says, "Let's effing go," and then walks away.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even, like, I just don't get it. I don't get the suspension. I don't understand what baseball is doing here. I don't understand the need to tell, Nicholas Castellanos, "Oh, you're gone for 2 days now." For what? If anything, then you need to suspend Yadier Molina for going after him after all he did was stand up and say, "Let's effing go," and walked away, and Yadier Molina chased him down. How about Nolan Arenado for coming all the way in from third base to come in and try to start something with him too? God, I hate when baseball gets like this. I hate when, especially Rob Manfred and the MLB front offices, when they want to go at a player for being emotional during a game after you just got hit. Well, how about suspending the pitcher for drilling this guy with a deadly weapon?
Yeah.
Like,
That's assault,
this guy had a baseball in his hand and threw it at 95 miles an hour and hit him right in the back.
That hurts.
So, I mean, what did he do that was so egregious that deserved a 2-game suspension? And I love the fact that he's appealing the suspension, and last night hit another bomb last night. I love it.
Yeah. Good one.
I think it has all to do with the stupidest thing in all of sports is the unwritten rules in baseball. It is the stupidest, okay? The stupidest thing in all of sports, in my opinion.
Every sport has unwritten rules, Wyatt. I mean, like, unwritten rules are fine.
Unwritten rules.
But there's okay with some unwritten rules. Like, I'm okay with saying, hey, when you guys are up by 14 runs, you probably shouldn't be stealing second, or your next guy's getting
Sure, that's fine.
Like,
but watching your home run, I don't think that's too bad. I think that's stupid. If I crush a 450-foot bomb, of course I'm going to sit there and watch it for a second. I want to take it all in. I just hit a home run.
I've told people all the time, even in men's league softball, because I'm not a power hitter by any stretch of imagination. I like to hit gaps. So I tell people all the time, look, I promise you right now, because a lot of these guys hit tons of home runs, so they'll run, touch first, and then go back to the dugout. I always tell them, no. If I ever hit one over the fence, I'm rounding the bases twice. Oh. So you better be ready to fight, because I'm rounding I'm telling you right now, I'm touching home, and I'm going again. Like that. So if I ever hit a 450-foot bomb, we're fighting.
No, I mean, and I agree with you. I mean, I think if it's fine. If you're up by 14, there are some of the unwritten rules that are fine. I mean, if you're up by 14, I think that's a sports rule, not necessarily a baseball unwritten rule. If you're up by, 60 points in football, you don't throw, 50-yard streaks down the right side of the field to your best wide receiver. Because it's sports manners. I wouldn't even consider it unwritten rules. That's sports manners. Now, if you want to do it, whatever, I don't care. I'm a big person on also, if you want me to stop, then stop me. I also think that's a big part of it.
So you just contradict yourself there 100%. You just contradicted exactly what you just said there, Wyatt.
No, I didn't.
Yes.
I said I don't mind that rule. I don't mind it, but I think the one that you can't watch a home run. There are many stupid unwritten baseball rules.
I'm talking about football. You said I'm not going to run 50-yard streaks down the field, but stop me.
I mean, I don't think I probably wouldn't, but I mean, I don't have a problem if people do it. Like, for example, that coach that put up 161 points and the other team only put up 2 and everybody freaked out about it and he got suspended. I don't have a problem with him putting up that much points. If you wanted him to stop, then stop him. You know, I'm not for crying about that. Now, I probably wouldn't do it, but I'm saying I wouldn't do it, but I don't care if somebody does it. That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying I personally wouldn't do it.
So
I'm too nice, I think.
So there are several things that, like, you know, like I was actually going to ask you guys about the unwritten rules of baseball, and quite frankly, that is an old school mentality. We are now in the new school game where like showboating is the thing, where like showing the next person up is the thing. Like for example, Combs, you said when you cross somebody up on the basketball court, that is the most disrespectful thing ever, right? If you look at the NBA, every time somebody crosses somebody up, they look at them, smile, and they shoot it, right? That is
James Harden's the king of it.
That is the equivalent to a bat flip, hitting a home run, right? So what is the difference between
bomb? Like the greatest bat flip of all time.
What is the difference? Like, I don't understand that. Like,
I don't see a difference in it at all. Like, some of the unwritten rules in all sports, like, I'm fine with. Like, you don't, you know, in MMA, you don't hit a guy while he's down and on his knees. You know, you don't kick him in the face. You don't do certain things. There's certain things that you don't go and try to punch somebody directly in the dink. You don't do that type of stuff. Just same thing with baseball. Like, I'm okay with some of their unwritten rules, and some of the unwritten rules are just stupid. If you don't want a guy to watch his 450-foot bomb leave the yard, don't let him hit a 450-foot bomb.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't throw a pitch dead center and let him crush one.
Let him crush it, yeah.
Like, there is no reason. Like, I don't care if he stands there for 5 minutes till it lands, does cartwheels all the way around the bases, do whatever you got. Because I'm telling you right now, if I ever hit a 500-foot bomb, I would do all of the above.
So Combs, I'm exactly like you. Like, every time like I play slow pitch softball, I'm just looking to slap it over the second baseman's head and walk my butt to first base. Like, let's just be flat honest. but there are times like in my bones where like I just feel lazy and I want to hit the ball as hard as I possibly can. And there was one time I connected to that ball beautifully, man. Like, we were playing on a 300-foot fence, and this thing cleared it by at least 100 feet. It was just a straight rocket, right out. So I threw at the bat. I telescope the ball and then bat and then I bat and I was like, yeah, get some of that. The umpire threw me out.
Oh, hell no. See, I would have done that, and then I would have done the whole Ric Flair strut all the way around the bases. I'd have been like, all the way around the bases. I'd have just you could have thrown me out. I'd have been fine. I'd be like, did anybody get that shot on camera?
The bat flip I want to see. This will be mine. If I hit a home run, put it up on my shoulder like it's a bazooka and do that, and then flip it, and then do the Conor McGregor strut around.
I don't know. See, I like the Wilson Contreras bat flip at the end of the year last year against the White Sox, where he hits the home run, and from behind home plate, they're watching the ball leave the yard. He flipped that bat so high that the bat goes above the ball in the shot.
Yeah,
like that was an epic bat flip.
So speaking of bat flips, when we saw Ohtani hit his home run on Sunday Night Ball, he did a bat flip. So
absolutely.
but nobody
and
batted
he's the
an eye
opposing
at that.
pitcher.
Yeah, nobody batted an eye at that.
So,
yeah.
Right.
I don't know, man. It is crazy to me, but guys, we are going to take our first break, and we're definitely going to get this show back on track here, like a tad bit here. But moving forward, we are going to talk about
don't make promises you can't keep.
You're exactly right. I am on a show with Combs and Wyatt. This is about to go left anytime here, but we are going to
uncut, baby.
There it is, a left turn. I'm trying to give us a breakdown of why it's cutting me off. Imagine that. No, I'm just playing. But we are going to finish our talk from the All-Star game last night. The All-Star game has officially been moved from Atlanta to Colorado. We are going to finish our conversation about that. Baylor wins the national championship on Monday night. We're going to talk about that. And the Falcons are looking to trade out of that 4th overall pick. Mistake? Who wants to jump in there? Chicago Bears. And what are they willing to give up? All that and much more coming up here on the Man Hour, guys. We'll be right back. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse with the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com right now and become a member only over there. Click on the members tab. As little as $3 a month, you get to become a member. You get the after-hours footage. You get discounts on clothing, all the access to the blogs as well, and some more stuff that is announced daily. So head over to manhourradio.com. Check it out. But let's go ahead and welcome the boys back on the show. Combs and Wyatt. Wyatt, I'm going to give you literally...
Full swing rookie mode is what Puck is in today. I don't know what's going on. Hey, there he is. What's going on, Puck?
Guys, I have fat fingered my keyboard so much tonight. Like, I don't understand what is going on. First things first is like my YouTube chat is like at the very bottom of the screen. So like I actually can't like watch anything. Like I got to scroll all the way down to like the bottom. Dude, it is. I don't know what is going on. I've maybe it's just my ghost. So, what'd I miss?
We were laughing at you. That's about it.
All right. So, like I said, guys, welcome back to the Man Hour. I'm not going to push any more buttons for the rest of the night. The volume's fine, working correctly. No more blasting. No more blasting speakers. Except for I can't screen record right now because I have it on 9x16. Back here. All right. So last night, guys, we got into a deep conversation to end the show. Basically we ran up against that 2-hour mark. But basically, in hindsight here, the Major League Baseball All-Star Game has been moved from Atlanta to Colorado. Combs, you want to give us a little bit of insight of why that was moved?
So to be honest with you, I'm not 100% sure on all of the details. I just know that there was a law that was passed in Georgia, and it was something that was supposed to make it harder for everybody to vote. I'm not exactly sure what the parameters of it are or what the exact law is. But baseball made an executive decision to move the All-Star Game because of the voting and the passing of the law. And I mean, I don't know. Like, I leave the politics to the politicians. I don't really get involved in it much. If I was going to, and I got into a thing with people on it yesterday on Facebook. If I was going to base whether or not I follow sports on politics and whether or not they're involved in politics, I would have never been a sports fan my entire life.
You can't be a sports fan and be offended by sports involving politics.
Politics has been a part of sports for as long as I can remember. I mean, even the 1980 Olympics, the Miracle on Ice, the big U.S. hockey winning gold in that tournament, they almost boycotted the Olympics because of some stuff going on with them in Russia. Like politics has always been a part of sports. It's always going to be a part of sports. The only difference now is there's more spotlight on it. One, because of social media. Two, because of all the goings on in the world over the last 2 years or so. It's just there's a lot of things that are involved with it. And now you got people picking sides. Oh, I think it's horrible. Blah, blah, blah. I think it's a power move. I think it's this or I think it's that. I don't care where the All-Star Game's played at. I'm going to watch it anyway.
Right.
They're going to play it in Colorado now. Play it in Colorado now. The Home Run Derby is going to be a hell of a lot more fun to watch in Colorado than it would have been in Atlanta. I'll tell you that much. So
Yeah.
I have no problem with them moving it. I don't really care what the reasoning was. It is what it is. It's moved. It's not going back. So deal with it. I mean, that's basically the extent of it. I've never understood, and I don't get into all the, because I do understand that people have certain views and people say this and one person says that. And we had some people get into it on our Facebook page under a post about it. And it's just, to me, it's just, I don't know. You can't have one without the other. So you might as well just go along with it. There's nothing you can do to change what has happened.
Right. So why you kind of seemed a little bit of passion about this, basically moving of the All-Star game last night. So let's try to go ahead and wrangle that energy back into here and what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah. So I do agree with Combs. Sports have been involved with politics forever. They're always going to be involved with politics. Sports and politics are the two main things of life. I mean, let's be real here. Everybody in the world, 90% of the world, is either watching things involving sports or they're watching things involving politics. It's just life. It's how we are as humans. So I don't have a problem with them being interleagued. What I do have a problem with is the Braves getting punished for this, because the Braves are losing a lot of money out of this. There's a lot of, the city of Atlanta essentially really is kind of losing a lot of money out of this, and the businesses around the stadium and all that stuff. So this is not just a move that affects, a political thing. This is going to affect businesses surrounding the stadium because they're not going to have that huge fluctuation of people. Now, I know that crowds are still densed and stuff because of COVID, so it wouldn't have been as much as it would have been anyways, but still, you're losing that crowd that you would have had. So also the stadium is losing a lot of money. So people that, have jobs there are losing money that they could have possibly had, and in the situation, everybody's tight on money. So I don't really have a problem with politics being in sports. I don't care. I agree with Combs 100% on that. It's something that's always going to happen. My problem is the Braves being punished over politics. I don't think that's fair whatsoever. I don't think that they should be dragged into this. And for them to pull the game out of there.
That's what happens when you play in a state. It's just part of the territory. Sure. It's the same thing with, when anything happens, whether it's political, whether it is to do with the sometimes you lose games. I mean, and it's not always fair. It's the same thing, with, and I know it's on a different level, but you look at back, a few years back when the Cubs and Astros series got moved to Milwaukee because of a hurricane in Texas, and then, Texas has to travel a lot further than the Cubs do. And then what happens? Carlos Zambrano walks into Milwaukee and throws a no-hitter. So, there are things that aren't fair that happen for all sorts of reasons.
Sure.
And I get that. I get it's not fair to the Braves. It's not fair to the organization. It's not fair to rip that away from them. But at the same time, that's comes with the territory of where we are nowadays in society.
In this,
cancel culture, all that type of stuff. There are things that we just have to live with now. We have to live with the fact that Cardi B empowers women, but Cat in the Hat or Green Eggs and Ham is offensive. Yeah. That's the day we live in.
Yeah.
I mean, just by you saying Cat in the Hat, you are walking on a slippery slope there, right?
Yeah, we just got canceled.
Yeah, but guys, the same thing happened just a couple years ago in the NBA when the All-Star game was supposed to be held in Charlotte, and I believe that North Carolina wouldn't allow the gay community to be, or I don't remember the full the full ramifications of what was happening, but basically it came down to the LBGQYZX culture, and basically the Charlotte said no, you guys are not allowed to vote or get married here or something to that effect, and the NBA is well, sorry, we are not we are going to hold the All-Star game there, which is, just Charlotte is the same way. Charlotte got punished for a North Carolina thing, right? It is.
Yeah. And it's not necessarily something that the team believes in. It's not something that the team endorses.
Sure.
But it's something that the state and the city voted on, and it cost them an All-Star game. And I mean, you hit them where it hurts. You hit them in the pockets, and that's when people start losing money. Now, all of a sudden, if you're trying to sway votes, or you're trying to sway this, or you're trying to sway that, once you start taking money out of pockets, especially out of politicians' pockets, things change. And not saying that this is going to change the law in Georgia, but this is going to at least draw some attention to it.
Right, and it's almost kind of negative aid like attention because from my understanding, Combs, is basically they're saying that you have to have a ID to like vote. And like,
yeah, it was something to do with that, yeah.
And like in Indiana, we have to have an ID to vote anyways. In Kentucky, you have to have an ID
you
to vote. You
have to have
anyways.
an ID anywhere to
yeah,
vote.
So
you have to have an ID to vote, some sort of identification that proves you are an American citizen, which proves that you are a citizen of the state and the city and the town. And
to get your MLB will call tickets, you have to show your ID. That's what I find ironic. So, but that's okay. But showing your ID to vote is not okay. That's what I didn't get.
I think it's about. I think it's more deep than just. It's got to be more deep than just. You have to have an ID to vote.
They considered that voter suppression in some way because I guess that it's counting out people that
everything's suppression nowadays.
Exactly. I mean, it's a very slippery slope and a confusing situation.
Do you guys want to know what the real issue is?
I'll have to exactly read up on it and read up onto what the in-depth issue really was, or maybe I know Tim Leonard feels really strongly against the MLB moving it because of the reasoning. So maybe he knows more in depth.
Right.
So Professor Leonard, if you're listening, maybe you could chime in and let us know what that reasoning is.
Well,
I don't know the whole story.
On the flip side of the thing, in the culture that we're living in, like the Redskins can't be the Redskins anymore. Now they're trying to remove the Braves name. So basically, this is I think this is just a start of of them forcing the Braves to change their name. But, they're like, well, since you have to follow laws in Georgia, you need to change your name. It is what we call a snowball effect, right? Like this is just,
and that's the thing. Like I've heard, my buddy Ryan Lawless, who I talk with all the time, and the Man Hour logo is on the hood of his race car and all that.
Good luck this season, bub.
He's huge into NASCAR, and when he's like, yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna watch MLB anymore because of moving the All-Star game. I'm like, but you watch auto racing, and I mean they were pretty political last season. Yeah. And I see some commercials where they're still pretty political right now.
Do you want to go down that route? That was a manufactured racist thing to basically try to say we are united.
They were along with the NBA too, with all that. Right. I mean, all of that stuff, all of the BLM stuff, all of the standing for this person and standing for that, like all of that stuff. It's all politically driven.
Yeah,
all of it. And so you can't say one without the other and then be like, oh, well, this one was all right, but this one, no, it's all politics. It's all politically driven. So if you like politics and sports, fine. If you don't like politics and sports, fine. But it's not going away.
Exactly.
And I'm telling you right now, for the 40 or 50 of you that might stop watching baseball, that's not going to hurt their pockets. They are a multi-billion-dollar organization. So sure, if you want to stick to your guns and stop watching baseball, by all means, have at it. But it's the All-Star game's still not going back to Atlanta.
There is nothing. There is nothing more annoying than people stopping to stop watching a sport or something because of politics. I have said this many times. If you don't want to watch sport because of politics, that's fine. You weren't a real fan anyways. The sport will be just fine without you. That's my take on that. I'm perfect. If you want to stop watching sports because of politics involving the sport, that's fine. I don't want to hear about it. You can stop watching the sport. Whatever. I don't care. Like, don't stop telling me about it. I'm going to continue watching the sports because I'm a real sports fan.
Right.
Politics don't sway my view on it.
I can tell you three things more annoying than that, Wyatt.
What are they?
Ready? Can you handle it? One is IU fans. One is Louisville Cardinals fans saying that they still won a national championship, even though it's been stripped.
They did. They did.
And then three is Wyatt taking down the middle line and being politically correct in everything that he says, not saying one way or the other.
That was not politically correct what I just said. I did not go down the middle line on that one.
Hoffy wants to know if
Yes.
you're old enough to discuss politics and if you have a real ID.
Yeah, he actually
My
voted
idea.
for Joe Biden this year.
I am not going to say.
Way
who I
to
voted for.
out him on that.
I did not vote for Joe Biden. I will say that.
I
did not vote for Joe Biden.
So
I wrote in Michael Buckheister.
yeah, and
I wrote in my grandma is actually what I did.
I
Nana
actually
would have
voted
been a
for
really
Kanye.
good president.
I actually voted for Kanye.
Yeah, I thought about voting for Kanye, but you couldn't in Indiana, only in Kentucky. So
Right.
I mean, it is what
so,
it is.
so before we move to our next topic, guys, I did see a comment roll across the screen commenting about mine and Combs shirts here as my mic. Man, guys, what is going on today, guys? And now I'm all like this. Oh, sweet,
Dude,
man.
I mean, you're...
I am
Buck,
a
you're
mess,
rooking it up
guys.
on us, man. What's going on,
It,
bro?
Yeah,
it,
you
it
are.
is my ghost. They're ready for us to get out of the house. But I seen a comment about our shirts, guys. So Nana, since you are a members only, you are a member, a part of the Man Hour Nation here, you will get this shirt in the mail very, very soon here. So if you guys are interested in some Man Hour baseball tees, you can head over to manhourradio.com and hit the merch button here. And I think these are only like $16, $17. It's a really good deal. So, and they're like, this is probably the best T-shirt that I have.
Nana says she would really straighten out this craziness going on.
Exactly. It's
would
why I
she,
wrote
though?
her in, man.
Would she though?
She would. She would
bet
give
she would.
everybody free cookies across the nation. No. I take that back. My grandma makes good cookies, but I'm telling you right now, peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, undefeated, greatest peanut butter and jelly sandwich you'll ever have from my Nana, and also cinnamon and butter toast. You will never have better cinnamon butter toast than like eggs, like just breakfast food in general. You will never have better breakfast than my Nana. I promise.
So she will
False.
She will solve
I
all,
make the best breakfast.
all of our political issues with French toast. What you're saying?
She will. Pretty much, yeah.
Perfect.
She could solve
Hey,
all my issues with French toast anytime you want.
Exactly.
You know, Nana, anytime you want to make me French toast, you could solve all of my issues for the day with some French toast.
All right, guys.
I'm telling you, man.
All right, guys. So moving on to the next topic here, we are going to talk a little NCAA tournament championship game from Monday night. Baylor Bears destroyed Gonzaga, 86-70. I mean, it was just like basically from the highlights that I saw, because first of all, the tip was like at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not staying up till midnight to watch a basketball game. Sorry, that's not going to happen. But I digress. But from the highlights that I saw, Baylor basically dominated from tip till the final whistle, 100%. Wyatt,
Yeah, they never trailed.
Yeah.
should we be praising Baylor from the dominating win, or should we be criticizing Gonzaga by not being as good as advertised?
I think we should be criticizing the way that we overlooked Baylor, if anything. I guess praising Baylor because, I think we all turned a blind eye. I think most of the nation turned a blind eye to Baylor on that because Baylor, I mean, they played an incredible defense. I don't think I've ever seen better defense in recent history of a national championship game. It was incredible. It was nothing short of incredible. They made Drew Timme look like he was a washed, former D3 college basketball player in a church league. They made him look terrible. They shut him down. Sugg couldn't do anything. None of them could do anything. They kept a nice hold on Gonzaga the entire game, and on top of that, they were scoring a lot of points. They were hitting their shots left and right. I mean, they were just putting it down. They had an answer for every single Gonzaga bucket. It seemed like every Gonzaga bucket, there was 2 buckets for Baylor. It's what it seemed like the entire game because they dominated them. I mean, it was incredible. There was not a moment in that game where Gonzaga really had a chance. I mean, other than whenever it was 0-0 at the beginning of the game, and then Baylor just went crazy at the beginning and separated themselves, and there was nothing that Gonzaga could do. They just kept that separation and continue to play amazing defense, and they continued to hit shots. And when I say shots, I'm talking about like they were hitting they were hitting threes left and right. I mean, it was crazy. It was a lot of fun to watch.
Combs, what are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, so I don't think that it was there's any blame on Gonzaga whatsoever. The only thing that you could really put on them is that I think with like a minute left, they were down by 8 and they were all crying and going down. So to give up with a minute left when you're only down by 8, I think is a little silly, especially when you're trying to win a national championship. But at the same time, I feel like they were already defeated at that point. Like, it was one of those things where you could just feel there was no way Baylor was giving this up. If you score 6 points, Baylor's going to come back with 12.
Right.
Like, it was just one of those things. And so, look, hands off to Baylor. Wyatt and I said they were the weakest number 1 seed in the tournament, and they won the whole dang thing.
I 100% said that. I said that many times.
Yeah.
I know
And they're the national champs, and there's nothing we can do to take away. It's the first time they've ever won a national championship in the men's program. So, I have no issues whatsoever with Gonzaga or anything that they played their butts off. They weren't trying to lose the game; they were trying to win the game. Baylor was just a better team. Baylor was probably the most slept on team in the tournament.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree.
I think the Big 12 conference as a whole has always been the most slept on conference, and like that is just not me as a homer speaking. Like, I think generally from top to from team 1 to team 9, the Big 12 is the most competitive basketball program out there. I mean, hands down. So with that being said, Gonzaga, yes, they had a couple games earlier in the season. They played a struggling Kansas team to start the year. They played a struggling North Carolina team to start the year as well. Other than that, who did they play? If you put Gonzaga in any Power 5 conference, they probably have 4 to 5 losses this season. Yes, they are a good basketball team. Yes, they won 5 games in the tournament. I get that. But the simple fact of the matter is that they are not as good as basketball team or battle tested as Baylor Bears, as Oklahoma State, as Michigan.
They won 5 games in this tournament, and they beat some really good teams in this tournament.
Who did they beat?
I mean, they
besides...
didn't just play. What do you mean? Who did they beat in the tournament?
Gonzaga.
They beat
Oklahoma, which is a really
They beat
good
Creighton. They beat USC.
Creighton?
They beat UCLA.
Come on, Creighton is another team that was overrated.
Oh, stop!
Sorry,
UCLA was probably
Creighton's
the hottest
shooting
team
was
in the
insane.
tournament. USC was extremely hot at the time.
I will give you UCLA. I will give you UCLA.
UCLA should have been a 2 seed, 100%. Oklahoma is a great defending and shooting team. Oklahoma's a good team.
But you say they only beat Kansas and North Carolina. They destroyed Iowa.
Okay.
They beat West Virginia. They beat Virginia. Their out of conference schedule was really, really good. They beat BYU
in November, right?
No.
Sorry.
They beat BYU in January. They beat
that's a conference game.
Iowa in December.
BYU wasn't very good either.
They beat
BYU was a 6 seed in the tourney.
I don't care.
Yeah, BYU was.
They beat
good.
them 3 times.
Iowa was in December. Virginia was in December. I mean, their out-of-conference schedule was not exactly a cakewalk. They beat BYU again in February.
Their entire out-of-conference schedule was all Big 10 and Big 12 teams, and the top Big 10 and Big 12 teams.
And they were also struggling at the time,
to play
too.
Baylor.
They were also struggling at that time.
Stop.
They would not have been undefeated if they would have played Baylor. Baylor was clicking on all cylinders.
Iowa was the 8th ranked team in the nation at the time.
Who was?
That they beat them. Iowa.
Yeah, they sure was.
Virginia was the 15th ranked team in the nation. West Virginia was 13th in the nation. BYU was 23rd in the nation when they played.
There was also 2 games into the season, and they were struggling big time. The having not a preseason tournament and stuff like that was really hurting these power conferences or these power teams.
I mean, did Gonzaga play a preseason tournament? Did I miss something? Or were they playing on a level playing field?
They were also like 4 games in before they played anybody good.
It doesn't matter. No,
yes, it does matter. Like so you are telling me that if
they played Kansas the opening game of the season, then they played West Virginia in the 3rd game of the season.
Kansas also was like 5 players.
They played West Virginia and Iowa back to back.
You are giving them way too much credit here. Come on, Scombs.
I don't think you're giving them enough credit.
Some of the top teams in the nation.
They were also struggling. Why, Wyatt?
I don't know what else to tell you.
Why do you say they were struggling?
Because because Kansas, for example, they were missing 3 out of their 5 starters when they played that game, and then
I think they were missing 1.
They're missing 3, and then Kansas, I believe they lost 2 or 3 games in a row after that as well, and they dropped out of the top 25 until January, I think, when they got hot again and they started to make that push, right? So Kansas was struggling a lot in the first part of the season.
Iowa when they lost to Gonzaga, yeah, they were really struggling. They were 6-0.
Who do they play though?
Iowa's in the Big Ten.
They beat North Carolina, Iowa State, Northern Illinois. Like
So
they were 6-0. I mean, I don't. You're going to make up every excuse you can to say, oh well, who did they play? Oh, they were struggling. Now I just showed you they weren't struggling. Oh well, they hadn't played anybody. Stop.
Okay, so
they beat some good teams. You're just not giving them enough credit.
Let me. I am giving them credit. Like I said, they won 5 games in the tournament, and that is good for them. But the simple fact of the matter is, like, they wouldn't be in that situation if they were in a better conference. That is all I'm saying.
They beat teams from the better conferences. They beat teams from the Big 12. They beat teams from the Big 10.
They beat the best teams from the Big 12 and the Big 10. The only team they didn't beat from the Big 12 that was, considerably the best, of course, was Baylor, and that's because Baylor got COVID and they couldn't play.
But did Baylor beat them in the championship game?
They did.
So they didn't. So they didn't beat the top team in the Big 12, right?
Oh, but
they were 31-1.
Gonzaga might have beat them earlier because they were struggling because of COVID. So Gonzaga might have had the upper hand.
Baylor wasn't struggling.
Crows,
but Baylor got hot early, and they stayed hot until COVID. Which I don't know.
Yeah, Baylor got cold mid-season, and then Baylor didn't even really get cold. They lost to Kansas. Kansas is a good team, and Kansas was at that time on fire because they had dropped out of the 25, and they had fought their way back into the 25, the top 25, and they were I believe an 11 seed whenever they lost to them. Baylor was the 2 seed at like 18-0.
Undefeated mid-major team who beat the top Big 12 teams and the top Big 10 teams in the regular season to go undefeated all the way through the tournament until the championship game, and you're like, oh well, yeah, they weren't that good. They were overrated.
How many points did they score that game? 33.5. Congratulations.
33.5. What are you? What?
Do you guys know how to get underneath? So you guys can replay this here on youtube.com/manhour. Watch the clips of this little clip that I'm getting ready to post here tomorrow. This is 101 of how to get underneath Combs' skin. All right, guys, I opened up the womb. I got the air bubble under the skin, and I'm going to pop that thing coming up in the second hour. So, Combs, you better be ready, my bud. Like, no, guys, Gonzaga was a good team. Like, a guy going front. They were a good team. I mean, just to go undefeated in any league, you get to be a good team, right?
I want to throw punches.
Well, you need a step. You need a step ladder and some elevator shoes. So good luck with that, Combs.
I'm a carpenter. I got plenty of ladders.
Alrighty, guys. So on that note, we are going to take our next break here on the Man Hour. On the other side of the break, we got 5 stories to watch in Major League Baseball coming up this week, led by Combs and brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR, get up to $50 on your first deposit. So we will come back right after this short little break.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckeyes along with Brandon Combs and Wyatt Williams. Welcome back, Kevin King, as well, to the Packers. So let's go ahead and welcome the boys back onto the show. Wyatt, I still see you are a huge Kevin King fan, wearing that number 20 jersey, man. I'm really excited for you in the upcoming season here. But it is time to talk a little bit of Major League Baseball talk here. We are getting hot and heavy into the baseball talk here, into the Man Hour, guys. So if you are interested in baseball talk and like learning more about baseball, like I do know we have a lot of football fans and basketball fans. So if you guys are interested in learning about baseball, let us know in the comments, and we will help you help as we can. But Combs, this week is kind of an exciting week. Like you got your Cubbies and Brewers playing. We got the Royals and Indians playing. We got the Astros playing the Angels. Some big marquee matchups happening this week. But give us 5 things to watch for this week.
Yeah, so baseball's getting hot and heavy. I'm excited. There's a lot of things that are actually going on already in the first week. There's already been like 3 or 4 trades. Rougned Odor going to the Yankees from the Rangers happened today. Also, Orlando Arcia from the Brewers over to the Braves, which is a good pickup for them as well. But these are the stories that this week you want to really keep an eye on. The first one would be the Nats and how they deal with coming back off of COVID. They did put 10 players on the injured list ahead of today's game. And so that could really hamper them down. They did go out and take a win and today on a Juan Soto walk-off single. So they can, and they do have the depth to get through it, but it's just going to be interesting to see how they handle it, and whether or not they can bounce back from it.
Yeah, and they do have back-to-back double hitters on Wednesday too, so I'll be kind of serious to see how they can actually handle that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they're built to be able to sustain what they just went through, but it's just going to be something you want to keep an eye on this week. The next thing here is how the Padres are going to deal with the Tatis injury. This is a big one, man, because he's had this shoulder injury for a while now. He's been playing with shoulder discomfort. He's separated his shoulder a couple times now. I just feel like they need to worry about Fernando Tatis going forward as opposed to Fernando Tatis this season. And so I think that the San Diego Padres need to really explore the option of Fernando Tatis having surgery and sitting the season out, even though that would extremely hamper their chances at winning the West, really hamper their chances at going to the World Series like I had picked them to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they really need to do that, though. What's that?
If Tatis does get surgery and he is out for the season, let's say, do you think there's any chance that they still could win the West? Do you think that Machado maybe and Darvish are able to step up and bring them the rest of the way? Or do you think that the loss of Tatis will be too great?
It's a huge hit. Is it going to be too great? I don't know 100%. They might have to go out and make a trade. They might have to go out and get somebody on a flyer. Maybe go out and get Chris Bryant from the Cubs even and move Machado over to shortstop. Just on a flyer for this season, knowing you're not going to have him probably for next season because there's no way the Padres are going to afford him. So, that might be something that they have to do if they're still contenders come the trade deadline.
Yeah, and then just in hindsight here, yes, the hindsight is he will be out for the season, and it is definitely going to hamper your World Series pick. But didn't he just sign like a 10-year deal or a 12-year deal? He needs to think. Yeah. He needs to think long term. Get this fixed now, so year 3, 4, and 5, he isn't out for 18 months and miss a season and a half versus just one.
Well, he's still super young too, so he's still. It's much easier to recover from a surgery and an injury like this now at what is he, probably 24, 25, right?
26, I believe.
26. It's much easier. It is much easier, I'm sure, to recover from an injury like this and do your physical therapy at 26 rather than 30. You know what I mean? So now, if you're going to get it done, you got to get it done now, right at the beginning of your contract. He'll have plenty of time left, and he's still super young.
Number 3.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With Fernando Tatis, he's one of those guys who's a spark plug of that lineup. He's kind of really the leader in that clubhouse. I know they got Manny Machado there, but I just feel like Tatis is the face of the franchise. Tatis is the guy they gave the big contract to. Tatis is the one that actually they gave Machado a pretty big contract too. So I just feel like it's going to hurt them. They're probably going to have to make a move if they're still relevant by the All-Star break. The next thing that I have on here, the third thing, is going to be, can the Tigers continue to win games? The Tigers went out and won another one today in extra innings against the Twins. It was a game where the Tigers were, seemingly probably going to lose it, and then they found a way to get back into it and win the game in extra innings. So, it's still early in the season. I still think the Tigers are going to lose a lot of ball games. But early on in the season, they're 2-3 now, and or 3-2 maybe. I
think they got 3 wins.
It's escaping me whether they are. Looking it up right now, actually. So they are. They're 3-2. So they're look. They have 3 more wins than I expected to have them at this point. So you know, they're playing better than I thought that they would, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can continue this trend.
So let me ask you this question, Combs, because I believe you had them like 110 losses, right? Like you have them over 100 losses this year, right?
Yeah, and I'm at 110.
Yeah,
52 wins.
Yeah, so like at what point do you reevaluate the Detroit Tigers? Like how long do they got to be continue playing like the way they are now, like a 500 team?
End of
you
May.
say
End of May.
So
yeah.
It's kind of funny how. Go ahead.
Once you come to the end of May, you usually start seeing the teams that are hot, and you can really tell who the contenders and who the pretenders are.
Right.
And what teams are just playing well. One, maybe they had a light schedule, or two, maybe other teams in their division are injured. Like, whatever the case it being, usually by the end of May, you can have a good feel for what you're going to see. There's always those teams that come out of the gate and nobody expects them to be good. That could be a thing that you're seeing with the Tigers right now, too. Everybody's just expecting to roll the Tigers, and so maybe they're just walking in there expecting the Tigers to lay down. And look, there's still a team full of professional baseball players.
Right.
They've still got Miguel Cabrera, so they're not going to just lay down and die for you. You're going to have to go in there and beat them. And so far, the Tigers have done a good job of taking care of business.
I just think it's funny how they've progressed. They had Verlander at one time, and he was arguably a top pitcher in the league, tearing it up at the mound. Then you've got Miguel Cabrera, who is winning the Triple Crown, and it seems like it just all kind of evaporated all at once, and they all just kind of Now I know they lost Verlander, of course, and he went elsewhere, and that was a huge loss for them. But it's just funny how they went from a top team to just nobody overnight. It seemed like
Father Time is undefeated.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
True that.
So the fourth thing here to watch out for this week with baseball is, can the Mets come out of the gate hot versus Philadelphia? So far, they lost last night, and they're playing again right now, I believe. Can they get hot? I know they had an extended wait for opening day because of what was going on with the Nationals, and so they lost that first series and weren't able to get on the field, and they get on the field last night versus Philly, and Philadelphia finds a way to come back and beat them by scoring 5 in the 8th. So it's going to be interesting to see how they rebound from that, whether or not they can, come out of this week, maybe in the top 3 of the division, hopefully for them. We'll see what they can do. That's going to be that's going to be a focal point for the next couple of weeks, to be honest with you.
So do you think the Mets come out hot, Holmes, and win this series?
They've got the ability to. They probably should have won last night. They were up 2-0 heading in the 8th inning, and the Phillies just exploded for 5 runs.
Right.
I think that the Mets definitely have the team to do it. I just think that they were put in a tough predicament starting out the season.
That's a big
word.
And
I mean, there's nothing saying that they wouldn't have lost all 3 games. I mean, we've seen it with the Braves. The Braves still have not won a game. They lost again today.
Right.
So the Braves still have not won a game yet this season, and they're one of the best teams in baseball.
So I can tell you, every time you are going to bring up the Mets throughout the man hour through the next 6 months, I am hoping they take that L, because after you practice your championship celebration during spring training, I want you to take the L every time. I want you to have 111 loss season, just so the Tigers aren't the worst team in Major League Baseball. I have become a Mets hater. That's just the way it is. Go Yankees.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to get your wish, though. I mean, look, the Mets are really, really good.
Yeah, and they're going to be really good at stubbing their toes. Let's just be honest.
If they get Chris Bryant, they're going to be even better.
Yeah. And the last thing that we're going to watch out for this week, and I just kind of hinted towards it, what is wrong with the Braves? The Braves still have not won a game. The Braves are 0-4 to start the season. Like, what do the Braves need to do to get out of that loss column, get that first win under the belt, and maybe go on a little bit of a run? They're in a really tough division. So starting out in this division and starting out 0-4 is very, very tough. You do not want to go into this division, if you start, because right now the Phillies are 4-0.
Right.
So you're 0-4 right now. You're 4 games back already, and you're only a week in. If you fall to 7 or 8 or 9 games back in this division, It's going to be virtually impossible to come back in this division because you're going to have 4 really good teams that you have to leapfrog.
Yeah, and then just looking at their Braves schedule moving forward, they do play the Nationals twice on Wednesday afternoon, and then they're off, and then they play Friday, Saturday, Sunday series with the Phillies. If they don't get a win from the Nationals tomorrow on this Wednesday afternoon, I don't see their next win coming till possibly the Cubs when they travel to Chicago, and they might steal one on a Saturday afternoon game. Like that's I mean, they could easily start 0-9, 0-10 Combs.
Yeah, and that would be God. I know it's still early in the season, but to start out 0-10 in this division is a death sentence.
Yeah,
it just is. You're not coming back from that. As Chris Bryant just hit a ball down the line, Yelich somersaulted over the ball and fell on his butt. Take that, Torrey Anderson.
Yeah,
even though we're still losing 4-0.
But they do also have their pitching lineup secured for the next week. April 12th game when they are at home playing the Miami Marlins here. Chris Fried is pitching, so Fried is their ace. Like we talked about him a little bit in January or February. I can't remember for sure when we talked about him, but. If they don't get a win there, what should the Braves start to do? Do they need to make a trade? Do they need to shake something up? Like what has to happen to like wake this team up?
Yeah, if you come out of the gate 0-9, 0 whatever, and you're already finding yourself 8 or 9 games back in this division, yeah,
that's a tough hole to dig out of, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure that there's anything you can do. I think you just have to stand pat and hope you can make a run and hope some of the other teams have a couple of losing streaks while you're making your runs. And it's going to be tough because I don't see a whole lot of losing streaks other than the Marlins. I don't see a whole lot of losing streaks from any of these teams in the division. I feel like, 3 or 4 at the most, and then they're going to find a way to win 1 or 2 or 3 in a row after that. Like, these teams in this division, the Mets are too good, the Nationals are too good, the Phillies are too good, and I feel like the Braves are too. I feel like the Braves are probably going to have a big day tomorrow. They are too good to have a sustained losing streak, and so, we'll see how it goes. It's really tough for the Braves right now. You're already 4 games back, and you're only 4 games into your season.
Is it too early to look forward to May and circle a 2-week part of their schedule here? Like, if they are not, like, clicking on all cylinders, that they could possibly be out of the world or be out of the playoff hunt, not even the World Series hunt, but looking forward at their schedule here. May 4th, they travel to Washington, D.C. to take on the Nationals. They play a 3-game series there. They play a 3-game series versus the Phillies at home, and then they play the Blue Jays and then the Milwaukee Brewers, and then they finish a 3-game series with the Mets. Those 2 weeks there, Combs, if they are a struggling team, this stretch through early May could make them a horrible team.
Yeah, it's this stretch right here, too. This stretch right here where you've got these 2 games tomorrow versus Washington, and then another 3-game set with Philly. You need retribution on the Phillies. You need to take 2 out of 3 in that series to get back into this division race. And then you better beat up on Miami in that 4-game series against Miami. And then when you play the Cubs, it's going to be tough because it's at Wrigley. The Cubs aren't a horrible team, so it's not going to be just a cakewalk. But, you are going to run into where you have to take 2 out of 3 in that series. And then you've got the Yankees and then the Diamondbacks and then the Cubs again for 4. And then you play Toronto, Washington, Philly, Toronto. Like, you have got a brutal first month of the season. So they've got to figure it out, between now and probably the end of May. If they are under 500 by the end of May, chalk them up. They're not coming back in this division.
All right, guys. So just to recap what Combs give you 5 things to look out for this season here. Let me scroll back up here. It is the Nats versus COVID. How are they going to handle the COVID situation here? Tatis's injury in San Diego there as I fat finger stuff again. Man, I am just all over the place today. And then his third thing to watch is can the Tigers stay hot, or are they going to be just that bad still? and then of course the Braves, and then the Mets. Basically on opposite spectrums there. So much to watch here in the Major League Baseball columns. If you could pick one out of those 5 just to spend the next 3 or 4 days watching, what are you going to pick?
The Braves. The Braves. You got to keep an eye on them, see how they come out, because, again, they already made a move with Orlando Arcia, which I think is a good depth pickup for them, and so, they've got to make a move here.
All righty, guys. So that is top 5 things to watch this week in Major League Baseball. We're going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got the world infamous What Does, brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. You can head over to thrivefantasy.com, use promo code MANHOUR, and they will match up to $50 on your first deposit. That is thrivefantasy.com. You can go to the website or download on iOS or Android devices. That is thrivefantasy.com. We'll be right back, guys, here on the Man Hour. And what is up, Man Hour Nation? Welcome back to the Man Hour. Head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page and blog page as well, and also become a members only. But coming up here, we got the infamous What Does. So, boys, I could probably have just a whole segment to myself of like what does, of like how bad I've messaged. Show up today, and my fat fingers are going everywhere. I'm like kind of moving in slow motion. The Benadryl is kicking in. Like, I promise I'm not drunk. I'm just I don't know what is going on, to be honest with you guys. But Let's go ahead and hash you guys this. Are you ready to start the What Does?
I'm always ready to start the What Does.
Oh, yeah.
I've got some stuff to talk about.
All right. Please don't throw me under the bus tonight, guys. That would be much appreciated.
Oh, that's definitely.
I don't know, man. You guys spent all last week grilling me for the entire What The segment. I might have to, Buck. Who knows?
All right. Well, who knows? But just remember, Buck is great at coming things off the top of his head. Oh, what is going on?
Oh my God!
Just did it again.
All right, so I guess my first What The of the night is going to go out to myself. My fingers are going in slow motion today. I'm hitting buttons that I shouldn't be hitting. I'm playing sounds that I shouldn't be sounding. I blasted you guys out on the intro music. I don't know what's going on, guys. So just let me have it tonight. Give me the What The, but I give a What The to myself, Mike. Buck, get your crap together, son. What the?
I would give you a What The, Buck, but I'm going to give you a break just because I got too much other stuff to go at here. The first one here is not really it's a What The, but it's one of those things that make you go, what the? That's awesome. The Oakland A's played Carrie Underwood before he cheats while introducing the Houston Astros lineup on opening day. That was the most amazing thing I have ever heard in my entire life. Kudos to the sound guy in Oakland. Kudos to the Oakland A's for letting it happen. Kudos to everything about it. And then the fans are throwing one of them had a blow up trash can they threw onto the field. Another one said, "You know what? I don't have a blow up trash can." So he took a real trash can and threw it onto the field.
My God.
There was so much happening, but the Oakland A's playing Carrie Underwood before he cheats while introducing the Astros lineup is my first ever amazing What The.
My next What The goes out to the music the other day. So first off, I smacked this box of chocolates all over the floor, okay? And we go on break. I'm keeping myself composed. I pick all the chocolate up and I'm eating it while we're on break because I'm not putting it back in the container. It's already out. So I'm eating all this chocolate and all of a sudden I'm down like this, picking up the chocolate and eating it. And all of a sudden I hear the music stop and the camera is right on me. So I give the What The to...
I've got a confession to make.
Yeah.
I saw you stuffing your face with chocolates, and I ended the break early.
Are you serious?
I did.
next what the other night, let me grab my piece of paper to make sure I get my facts straight here, goes out to Carlos Dunlap. Carlos Dunlap just recently re-signed with the Seattle Seahawks for 2 years, $14 million. However, he said he was not going to re-sign with the Seahawks until he knew Russ was coming back to Seattle. Newsflash, Russ was never leaving Seattle. Russ was staying in Seattle the whole time. It was simply just a ploy to try to get more people in there or to actually see what you can get out of Russell Wilson. Meaning the Chicago Bears literally threw the woodshed at you minus the keys, and the Seahawks are like, nah, that's not quite enough. We want more. So Carlos Dunlap, for you to even like speak on that, like saying, oh, I want to go and be here if like Russ is there. You are a transplant anyways. You don't even deserve to be there. And if you really wanted Russ to stay, you would have played at veteran minimum to bring more players in. So you get the what the Carlos Dunlap. Come on, you don't really care about Russ. Let's just be honest.
My next what the is going to go out to our boy, the baseball lackey himself, Hoffy. Hoffy, I blame you for Fernando Tatis getting injured. It's no longer a Madden jinx. It is now the Hoffy jinx. Hoffy picks him to be the NL MVP, picks him, to win the West. And what happens? 4 games in, Fernando Tatis swings a bat, misses the ball, and tears his shoulder off of his body. So, Hoffy, for her injuring Fernando Tatis because you wanted to pick him to be the MVP, you get the what the.
Hoffy, baby. My next what the goes out to someone that I don't even know their name. Okay, so I tried to give this what the last week, but I got cut off. But it's a beautiful story. So we are riding around in downtown Louisville, and we go down Main Street, and to get to the area where the restaurant we were, there is a little bit of a rough part in the middle. So we're driving through that rough part to get back to the regular main part of Louisville. We're driving down Main Street, and in the middle of the road, like half a mile down the way, we can see something just sitting there. And we're like, what in the world is this? What is that sitting in the middle of the road? And it is a wheelchair. And we get a little closer and we're like, what? And turns out it's a person in a wheelchair. As we get closer, the person starts coming toward our car. Then they start wheeling backwards. While we're going down Main Street in Louisville, there is someone in a wheelchair going backwards, racing us down the Main Street in Louisville. It was possibly the most incredible thing I think that I've ever seen. Quite the experience, I may say, but nonetheless to say we did lose the race to, as Tori Anderson says, Wyatt saw Bigfoot on the comments here. We did lose the race to Bigfoot in the wheelchair. So, give or take how you want to take that. So, yeah. Person in Louisville, my eyes for seeing it, us for losing the race. You guys get the what the.
My next what the other night is I got my notes here, guys, and guys, I always tell a great story. I've been to Walmart and Target. I got some great stories. All of my stories are true, by the way. No fluffing of the story. This is stuff really, really happens. So basically, me and my wife, we put our house up on the market to sell. Combs, I believe it was like late January, early February. I can't remember for sure. But our closing date was going to be February 2026. Long story short, the buyers backed out of the contract because we had basically our roof's like 30 years old, and apparently roofs are only supposed to last 25 years or something. Like, long story short, I don't really know. But nonetheless, they backed out of it, and we had to basically get a new roof. Well, we had this guy come check out our roof and said there's some hail damage on there. Awesome. So we file a claim for our insurance. This is February 2nd when we file the claim for our insurance. I have all the dates written down right here. February 2nd, our claims adjuster said within 48 hours there will be somebody out there to come and inspect your roof. It is now April 6th. The inspector just showed up last Tuesday, so I think that was April Fool's Day. Actually, I think it was. So over 2 months, the longest 48 hours of my life, he finally shows up, and then he basically says he forgot his ladder. So you waited almost 3 months to come look at my roof. You knew you were coming to look at my roof. You are a claims adjuster and you forget your ladder? So come on, claims adjuster. You get the what the, man. Sheesh.
My next what the other night is going to go out to Wyatt Williams. Wyatt Williams, how did you not know that I ended the break early? We were about 30 seconds in and you just started shoving chocolate into your mouth. Out of all the things that we do to you on this show, messing around with you, joking around with you, you still thought that you were 2 minutes into chewing chocolate that you just forgot and lost time. How would you not expect me to end the break early when I can see you backstage? Like, so I don't know what to tell you, Wyatt. You never expect it when we mute you. You never expect it when you're eating chocolate. We're going to pan in on you. You had chocolate all over your chin all week from when you came back from vacation. You called it a beard, but I know for a fact it was chocolate that was stuck to your face. So, Wyatt Williams, you get the what the.
The worst part is I even knew to myself, I was like, that couldn't have been 2 minutes. Like, there is no way that was even a minute. I even thought to myself, I was like, that was so fast. There is no way we were even relatively close. Gosh, but now I know. I know now. Okay. But anyways, my next what the goes out to Gonzaga. Okay. We all saw that national championship and we were all expecting a 32-0. I think everybody really was. But 31-1, of course you weren't, Buck, but 31-1 is just so ugly. Like 32-0 is so cool and such a good looking thing, but 31-1, it's not right. It's not right. I don't know what it is. So Gonzaga, yeah, you guys get the 31-1. What the? I don't.
Hold up. Buck, put us all on the screen.
Gotcha.
Before you get to your what the, have we really gotten to the point where we're going to give a what the to a team that went 31-1?
Yeah,
How can you give a team that went 30? Why have you ever gone 31-1 in anything in your life?
I have, eating chocolate. The one was whenever you ended a break early.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Buck.
All right, so my next what the is going to go out to ex-NFL GMs on TV talking like they are the best general managers in the world. So, as you guys know, the NFL draft is just around the corner. 3 weeks away, if I'm not mistaken, starts April 28th. So, it is the 7th now. So, you do the math. 21 days, right? So, my what the is going to go out to these general managers talking like they know exactly what they should do, like if they were the Jets or if they were the Panthers or like if they were the Chicago Bears. Newsflash, you are a ex-NFL general manager for a reason, because you were not very good at your job. Let's just be flat and honest. The reason why you're on TV, you're not very good at your job. So Bill Napoleon or whatever his name is, the old coach general manager, you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. You get the what the, man.
So my last what the, I was going to try to be funny and be like, you know what? I am going to give Buck a what the. But then I start reading stuff that's going on in the comments section.
Don't do it. You're stealing my what the. I know exactly what this is.
Tori Anderson, you're getting the what the. Tori Anderson is over here in the chat line flirting with Nana.
You literally took my what the from me. You took my what the. You just took my what the.
He tells Nana you have a soul. Nana's sending him kissy faces. So Wyatt, I don't know what's going on over here, but Pappy Tori Anderson, you need to stop what you're doing, sir, because it is not cool. Not cool at all. Tori Anderson, you get the what the. I don't think he's got anything to say.
No, I'm good. Just move on.
And the final what the of the night is going to go out to the one and only guy that parked in my driveway last night. So if you guys do not know, I actually do the show out in my garage because, you know, we live in a small house and we're packing and moving and stuff like that. So I do my show out in the garage just so, you know, I get some peace and quiet away from the boys, yada, yada, yada. You know, we end the show here about 10:30 or so, and I go outside and there is a truck parked in my driveway. I'm like, okay, that's odd. So I go inside. I'm doing some post-show stuff. I am editing. I'm rendering. I'm getting stuff ready, prepared for the next day to head to work. And Cindy's like, this truck has been out there since 9:00 at night. And so that truck has been in there in our drive for almost 2 hours. So apparently this was a Amazon Prime delivery person, right? And they were dropping off packages in our house.
Oh, my God.
So this guy apparently needed a signature to drop off our Amazon Prime package. So he sat there for almost 2 hours in our driveway waiting for somebody to sign a package to come out and acknowledge he was like he was out there. So basically, we live in a cancel culture generation. We live in the Me Too. We live in the I want everything handed to me. This guy wouldn't even walk up to the door and knock. So nonetheless, I'm going to give you everybody the what does tonight. Comments is out. Wyatt quit the show. We'll be back, guys, on the Man Hour. Heading out with this. Have a great night. No, we'll be back after the break. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys, as Combs is trying to collect his thoughts after our chat has definitely gone left turn. We will not be discussing any of the chat that is going on in air, but let's just say, Wyatt, welcome to manhood, man, and you guys go ahead and get that comment off the screen. I'm not going to read it. Combs, you're not going to read it either, and Wyatt, you can't read it. So with that being said, guys, welcome back to the Man Hour. If you are new here and haven't hit the subscribe button or like button at youtube.com/Man Hour, go ahead and do so right now. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button, because we do have a lot of fun here, and honestly, it seems just like a matter of time before they say you guys can no longer do what you do like at this rate.
I had tears running down my face, like they were dripping from my nose. While I was...
Me too.
Those are the two exact opposites of tears: tears of joy and tears of utter disgust. Right?
Pain.
Yeah, pain, tolerance, whatever.
The Pappy needs French toast comment killed me, man. I was stunned.
Monk was in the middle of talking and I saw it and I'm like, please don't have Combs see it. Please don't have Combs see it. And then Combs automatically brings it up and I'm like, God.
Yeah. And I see, as me being a professional, I skimmed right over that. Why I didn't let it affect me. I was still going with it.
But it's because it's not your grandma, okay? It's not okay. If it was your grandma, there's no being professional about that.
Okay.
All right.
On the After Hours show tonight. So if you guys are not a member, head over to manhourradio.com right now and become a member. As little as $3 a month. You will get access to the after show footage and why I will tell you about my grandma on the After Hours. This is nothing. I am telling you. You want some scar stories? I got something for you here on the After Hours here. So guys, let's go ahead and get back into some sports talk here. So we have touched on the Baylor Bears, we have touched on the Gonzaga Bulldogs, as well, but let's dive deeper into the Gonzaga Bulldogs here. The Gonzaga Bulldogs now have 7 seasons of 30-plus wins in a row. Why? I'm going to kick it to you first because you are kind of a Gonzaga hater right now after your whole what the segment there, but are the Gonzaga Bulldogs just destined to lose?
At this point, and I don't want to consider myself a hater because I was pulling for him. I really was. I wanted this to be the year they finally
you gave
did
him
it.
a what the for losing one game.
Yeah, I know because it's 31-1. If I was on the show whenever Kentucky did it, I'd have gave Kentucky the what the. It's just it sucks so bad. Well, Kentucky wasn't 31-1; they were 30-1 because they sucked too bad to even get to the championship game. But anyways, Frank the Tank Kaminsky helped me on that one. But I was really pulling for them. I genuinely was pulling for them to win that game and finally Gonzaga get over the hump, to finally advance, to finally get over that hump of, I really thought that, they always lose in the Elite Eight. I really thought that once they got past that they had broke that barrier, that they had moved past, that this was a thing of the past, and they were finally going to get it done. I really...
Hold it together, boys. Hold it together.
I really thought that this was the year that they were going to be able to pull it together and to go all the way. I thought that if they were going to lose, they would have lost already. It wouldn't have been in the championship. So yeah, I mean, it was just. But hats off to Baylor at the same time because Baylor's been a team that's been riddled with disappointment too. They every year can't get out of the Sweet 16 or the round of 32. They've had many years where disappointment has struck their season. So it was really a good year for both teams that they both kind of broke some barriers that they haven't been to yet. I don't know if Gonzaga couldn't do it with this team, I don't know if they'll ever be able to. This was the best Gonzaga team. You can name any ones you want with Kelly Olynyk. You can name any of the past and previous teams. This genuinely, in my opinion, was the greatest Gonzaga team of all time. And possibly you could even look at them as not even look at them. They are arguably a top, 25 college team of all time put together. There was NBA talent all over the floor. They've got 4 or 5 players on that team that are going to go pro, and many of them are going to go in the top in the first round, in the top probably 15 picks. So, it really kind of sucked for them at the end of the day that they couldn't get over that hump.
So, let me ask you this question as Combs is still trying to collect his thoughts over there and keep it together. But
I had to turn off the comments, so I'm just going to say that. I turned it off so I can't see them anymore.
But let me just ask you this question, just because I am a firm believer you have to learn how to lose before you can win. Floyd Central had to lose that regional game a couple years ago to even have a shot to go further, right? Kansas City Chiefs had to lose in the AFC Championship game to make it to the Super Bowl to win the Super Bowl. Do you think Gonzaga had to lose that championship game so they can be hungry and get back there, or are they just a team that, hey, we made it to the Final Four, we are satisfied with our season, let's call it a day?
Well, I don't think they're satisfied whatsoever with their season. I think that they definitely were hoping for a title. I think
everybody is,
that,
right?
They've, of course, and I think that it's more the less. I think they've got their loss out of the way. I think that they've already learned how to lose. They lose every year in the Elite Eight, or every couple years they get lucky and get to the Final Four and always lose. They never get this far. They never get this opportunity, and I think that they've learned to lose. So if they were gonna learn to lose, I feel like it's already dawned upon them. I feel like we've already got to that point. So I don't know. I want to say yes. I really do. I want to be like, yes, that this is the learning curve and next year they're going to bounce back, but they're going to lose a lot of really good players and they're not going to be, I don't think they'll be as good next year. And Tori said it right here. I think this is the truest statement. Mark Few is the best coach to not win a title. They were battle tested 100%. And he's essentially the Andy Reid before Andy Reid won a title. He's gotten there every, couple of years. He's gotten a lot of shots at it, but just can never get over that hump. He's never been able to extend it to that point. Of course, Andy Reid was able to win the Super Bowl. We'll see if Mark Few is able to win a title. I don't know. I think this was the best opportunity to. This is the greatest team Mark Few's ever had, and it's not close. I really don't think so. This was their best opportunity to get there.
Combs, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I don't think they're always destined to lose. I think that Mark Few's done a great job of turning a mid-major team into what is now probably a top program in the country. And I think that is only going to get better for them because I think that it's going to make it easier for them to recruit going forward. I think it's going to be able to make it easier for them to win moving forward. I don't think that this was only Gonzaga's shot at a championship. Now, it's never easy when you go into the tournament to win a title because it's a one and done situation.
Right.
You if you hiccup, you're done. And unfortunately for them, their hiccup was in the title game. And I don't even know if it was really a hiccup as opposed to Baylor was just that much better. When you brought these guys in there and you looked at the size of the guys from Baylor and the size of the guys from Gonzaga, it almost looked like grown men playing against boys because the Baylor kids were just so much bigger than Gonzaga. Size was a huge difference in this game. And they just couldn't stop because Baylor did what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. And I just don't think that, that spells doom for Gonzaga because, look, they are a mid-major team that every year is a legit threat for the national title. And that's a huge thing that Mark Few has done there.
So
I would go as far. Go ahead, Buck.
Well, I was going to say, on the flip side of that coin, they do play in a weak conference. So Gonzaga could, quote, be in a reloading year. And as long as they make it into the tournament, any team legitimately has a shot when you make it into the tournament.
Well, no,
Gonzaga can be
out of conference schedule is usually pretty tough, too.
Or a 1 seed.
Yeah, their out of conference schedule is usually pretty damn good. They've usually got some really good wins on their schedule.
Yeah.
For them to be a 1 seed out of a mid-major conference, it's not just about being undefeated. It's about who did you beat, what were your good wins.
Right.
They beat Iowa. They beat, West Virginia. They beat BYU twice. Those were their wins.
I'm pretty sure UCLA was the first time that they've won a game this season by less than 10 points. I'm pretty sure it was either the first or second time. Right. So, they're not only beating these good out-of-conference teams, and sure, they do have a weak conference, but they're killing these teams in their conference. It's not like it's a close game all the time between them and BYU. They're winning by double digits every single game, and it's not even a close game. That's, it's not like it's free throws down the stretch. These are games that are over with, 10 minutes left in it.
And Drew is heavy on that they gave up at the end of the game. Do you guys feel they gave up?
I in a way I can see where people would say that.
They had it to within 8 and they were, hanging their heads, crying
with a minute left, right?
Yeah, I mean
it was less than a minute, I'm pretty sure. I don't,
cuz the game ended up with as a 16-point difference, but it was just one of those where you felt like it's, as an athlete when you're beat.
Right.
No matter how much time is on the clock, when you're beat. When, look, we've thrown everything at them but the kitchen sink and nothing's worked. And Gonzaga knew. I mean, they just knew at the end, great, we got it to within 8 points. We're not getting any closer than this. And then, what happened? They lose by 16. So
I don't think they didn't get it within a 10-point game. With a minute 30, I'm looking at it right here. With a minute 30, they were down 84-65. It never really was a 10-point game, I don't think. I don't think it ever got that close.
I thought they got it to within 8, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was 10 or 12, but they had started to make a run. There was still an opportunity for them to, make a run, but they knew they were beat. I mean, it happens when you are in a game and you are playing in that game, when there's nothing you can do. They're just whooping us tonight, and
exactly.
that's it.
Yeah, and then over here in the comments section here, as it starts to calm down a tad bit here, Tori Anderson asked, did they give up or were they gassed? I mean, when you are an undefeated team, you are mainly mentally exhausted toward the end of the year. You have to win every game. You are chasing the perfection. So I have to go with Combs. They did give up in a sense, saying yes, they were defeated, but they just looked more mentally exhausted than anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. They were definitely beat.
Yeah, and I think again, I just think it was a matter of they knew they were done. They knew it was, it wasn't going to be good. So, and Drew's adamant that was an 8-point difference with 1 minute left. I thought it got down to that as well, but I'm not sure. And so it's just one of those where I get it, but I don't think that they gave up. I don't. I mean, this team has 31 wins this season, so they know what it takes to win.
Exactly.
They were defeated.
All right, so speaking of what it takes to win, Matt Nagy, he seems to know what it takes to win over there in Chicago, as he has officially taken back over the play calling duties for the Chicago Bears. Combs, I know that Matt Nagy is his quote offense of guru, and he is supposed to change the way offenses are ran in the NFL, yada, yada, yada. But we have seen he is just not a very good play caller for the Chicago Bears. Are you happy with him taking back over the play calling, or should there be some other changes?
Why do you do this to me? Why do we got to talk about the Bears? You know how I feel about the Bears.
Yeah, we heard you're a Packers and a Brewers fan now.
Stop it. Him taking over the play call, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who does the play. I could call the play. Give me a Madden playbook and let me go make the play calls, because the play calls are on this team. It does not matter. When Andy Dalton is your quarterback, it does not matter. When your backup quarterback to Andy Dalton is Nick Foles, it does not matter. You're going to call whatever plays you want. It's not going to work. This team is going to be abysmal, 5-12 at the best.
Why? What are your thoughts about Matt Nagy taking back over the play calling?
Excited.
He loves it. He's a Packer fan.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack. Go.
I think it's good for us. I'm not sure about how Combs would feel about it though. I think it's funny.
I just told you how I feel about it. If you're listening,
I was. When I was also trying to find this, I did find it though. With 59 seconds left, it was an 86-67 game. I just found the scoring breakdown on ESPN. And Baylor had let me check here. With
86-67.
86-67.
So that's a 19.
That's a 19-point game. That was with 59 seconds left. That was with 1 second left. And with 59 seconds left, Baylor had a 99.9% chance of winning it through win probability. So I don't. There was not really any way they could have come back and won that. But anyways, Matt Nagy. I'm as a Packer, like I said, as a Packers fan, I'm very excited for it. It's a opportunity where we have a defense that can take over games again for 2 games a season. I'm not sure though. Does that kind of tell us that they are sticking with Andy Dalton and they're not going after a quarterback that can lead an offense in a way? I'm not sure. Do you think they're sticking with Andy Dalton?
They traded for him for a reason, right? Or they picked him up
I don't see any way that Andy Dalton's not their starting quarterback unless they go out and they do something else. Maybe they draft a quarterback who just, blows them away in training camp and in the preseason. But I don't think there's any way that Andy Dalton's not your starting quarterback, at least for the first 5 games, and give him a chance to, lose it before you bring in a rookie at any point. But I mean, you're not going to lose out to Nick Foles. And if you do lose out to Nick Foles, I mean, 2-14, 2-15 at the best. This team is atrocious.
So are you saying that as the Bears currently constructed with their quarterback situation, they are a 2 to 3 win team tops with Nick Foles or Andy Dalton?
With Andy Dalton, I said I have to look at the schedule, see who they play, but I mean, I would not venture to say more than 5 to 6 wins at the best.
Even though Andy Dalton has never had a below 7-win season in his career. Even though Andy Dalton is a top 15 quarterback going into the league this year.
Oh my God.
Even though Andy Dalton will lead them to the playoffs.
Are you done spewing your nonsense?
Facts are facts.
Do you think they'll beat the Packers, Buck?
One time, yes.
You think they'll beat the Vikings?
At Lambeau Field twice. Sweep them.
Sweep the Vikings twice?
Yep.
Okay. What about the Lions?
They'll get swept by the Lions.
The Lions will win too?
Lions are going.
Bucks got the Lions going 14-3.
No, 10-6. No,
can't go 10-6. There's 17 games now.
Yeah, there's 17 games now.
Yeah, well, they'll tie
10-7.
10-6.
So weird. I don't like that.
But no, as currently constructed, if Andy Dalton is a starting quarterback, I think they are a 500 team. Yes, I do like their defense still currently intact. Andy Dalton has some running game to help him with the passing game, so those short intermediate passes that he likes to dunk and dink will be open, and so I think that will expose the Packers, honestly. I think the Packers will have a tough time with the Chicago Bears this year simply because of the dink and dunking game and the lack of a running defense. So they will probably split with the Packers, split with the Vikings, but they'll sweep the Lions. So that right there gives them 4 wins. And then I don't know who their opponents are like after that, but you only need 4 more wins to probably get into the playoffs in the NFC.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. I don't think that they're better than they are last year. I think they got the same quarterback that they had with Mitch Trubisky is what Andy Dalton is. He's just the older version of it. And
right, I do agree with that. I think they're both top 15 quarterbacks.
Oh my God! Stop it! Stop now. This is too far. This is too far.
So let me ask you guys a realistic question here. We saw Sam Darnold go to Carolina, so therefore, and basically by default facto type of reasoning, Teddy Bridgewater is out there on the free agent market more or less, basically going to be for a really, really cheap price. Should the Chicago Bears look into getting Teddy?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. They should have looked into getting him last year before Carolina instead of signing Nick Foles.
So Combs, as a Bears fan, are you satisfied with Teddy Bridgewater coming in for 3 years and being there for 3 years and maybe being a 500, maybe 9-win, 10-win team, or do you want to go draft a rookie quarterback, let him sit behind, Andy Dalton and learn, and then come in the next year?
No. I mean, I don't think anybody's going to learn anything by sitting behind Andy Dalton. What do you learn? Like how to miss the playoffs? How to, I don't know. I mean, look, the Bears have tried so much to get a quarter. Like what did they throw at the Jets for Sam Darnold? I'm pretty sure what they offered the Jets for Sam Darnold was more than what they got out of Carolina.
Was there ever an official offer though? I mean, I never heard an official offer.
I'm assuming so. I mean, we heard that there was talk that there was talks that they were in high on Russell Wilson. They were in high. They had the best offer on the board for Deshaun Watson, and we got Andy freaking Dalton.
Yeah. So so before we head to our next break here, Tori definitely brought up what I was going to talk to next. The Falcons are looking to trade out of that fourth overall pick. Who trades up to that fourth overall pick, or does anybody want to?
Stop. There's no way that the Bears are trading into the 4 hole for a bunch of reasons. One, what are you trading into the 4 hole for? Because the Jaguars are taking a quarterback. The Jets are drafting a quarterback. The Jets are drafting a quarterback. The San Francisco 49ers are drafting a quarterback. So your top 3 quarterbacks are already off the board.
Well, but I don't think so, because the Niners are taking Mac Jones, man. That is not the top quarterback for me whatsoever. I think the Niners take Mac Jones.
I think you're wrong. I think you're sleeping on Mac Jones. Mac Jones just won a national title. Mac Jones is Mac Jones.
Did you watch his pro day?
No, I don't think there is a lot of smack. Yeah, you know who his pro day remind me of? The guy who just won his 7th ring. That's what his pro day reminded me
Jones
of.
to Tom Brady.
Why? Because they had similar pro days. They had similar everything, with the exception of Mac Jones was a starter in college and won a national title. That's the only thing that you see different from them right now. Same type of body build, same type of pro day, same type of.
It is all mindset, Combs. You cannot read the mindset. The mindset
I think
of Tom
Mac.
Brady was different.
Look, I'll tell you right now, if the Bears do jump up to 4 and Mac Jones falls to 4, I would be ecstatic.
That would be the biggest Bears move of all time to take Mac Jones at 4.
Yeah.
I would love every single bit of it.
You also loved every pitch of Mitchell Trubisky being drafted too, but we see
No,
how
I
that
did
turned
not.
out.
I will kick you right in your. Oh, I hate you. I'm done.
All right, guys, we are going to take a quick little break. On the other side of the break, we got the infamous shop talk. So if you guys want to talk about anything besides French toast and Aaron Rodgers, let us know in the comments, and we'll be gladly to talk about it. So shop talk coming up here, guys, on the Man Hour right after this short little break.
That'll bring us to the 2-minute warning.
And what is up, guys? Welcome back to the Man Hour. Brandon Combs along with Wyatt Williams. And I am Michael Buckhouse. Man, I have been messing up all night tonight, and I messed that up again, guys. So head over to manhourradio.com. The after-hour show starts at 10 p.m. East Coast time. And if any indication of how today's show went is any indication of how the after-hours is going to go, it is going to be so derailed. And luckily, it is strictly after-hours. We're not on air. YouTube.com/manhour is where that will be
As long
at.
as you end the broadcast this time.
As long as I end the broadcast this time. Honestly, Combs, you might as well do it because I'm going to forget it now. I'm just totally kidding.
Hey, did you guys see the couple of comments in here that were going on about Aaron Rodgers? Did you guys see him get trolled on Jeopardy?
Yeah, I did.
He didn't get trolled. That guy made a joke toward him, and he laughed about it. It was funny.
That was amazing.
It was hilarious.
Was an amazing answer. The only thing that would make it better is if that guy is like a Lions or a Bears fan, because then that just makes it even better. The question, but yeah, no, I mean, and he had. I wish it would have been funnier if he actually like give it an answer, and it would have been like not mine, or you know what I mean? Like it would have been. But I think he handled it well.
I think he gave that answer though. I think his chuckle and him saying that should be the correct answer, but unfortunately on this show it is not. I think Aaron did kind of blame that one off a little bit on it. I thought it was hilarious.
So
I loved it.
So the people that don't know what you guys are talking about, like let them know like what happened on Jeopardy with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, so they were in Final Jeopardy, and there was
can we pull up a clip and just play it?
No.
Who didn't know the answer, and since he didn't know the answer, he wrote on there. You know how they write down on their little thing, and he wrote who really wanted to kick that field goal. And put that as his final answer. So when he went to go answer it, Aaron Rodgers is like, so let's see what your answer was. Who wanted to? And he just started laughing. And he's like, oh, that should be the right answer. But on this show, it's not. And
this is in context to the playoff game, right? When they're down by 5 or whatever. They kick the field goal.
Yeah, okay. When he should have run for the corner of the end zone, and only Packers fans, because they love Aaron Rodgers so much, will tell you that he wouldn't have made it.
He wouldn't
when it was
made it,
wide open.
I'm not even
he would have
fan.
made the corner of the end zone. Watch the play again. He would have made the corner of the end zone.
The safety was coming
no
down
way
hard.
He wouldn't have made it there.
No, he was asking.
Was not coming in hard. He was blocked.
No, the guy. You know, the guy saying whose decision was it to kick it? He wasn't saying that. He was referring
because
to them kicking the field goal, not going for it.
I know there shouldn't have been a decision, is what I'm saying, because Aaron Rodgers should have scored on the play before.
Lord.
No, he shouldn't have.
He should have. All right.
He should not have gotten.
You know who would have scored?
Aaron.
Lamar Jackson.
Andy Dalton.
Lamar
Jackson
would have scored.
No, he wouldn't have.
Deshaun Watson.
Lamar Jackson would have scored.
Okay, you're talking about the two fastest and most athletic quarterbacks in the league right now.
He absolutely would have scored, and he wouldn't have even run in the corner of the end zone. He would have just run it straight and ran through somebody.
Yeah, Lamar runs like a 4.40.
Okay, congratulations.
Yeah.
How far can you throw the ball?
Watch the play again, though. I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers is fast enough. He would have made that corner of the end zone. The two guys that were available were blocked, and the one guy that was coming off of in the secondary, the one guy that was coming was too far away. He wouldn't have got to him because he didn't have the angle. If Rodgers takes off for the corner of the end zone, he should have scored on that play. I'm sorry. Only Packers fans will defend him.
Why are you?
And Buck, you're defending him, and we know you're a closet Packers fan, so it's okay.
I do have my Packers beanie right over there. You want to go ahead and throw it on my head?
Yeah, I don't not believe you. I know you're a closet Packers fan.
Oh, my wife's a Packers fan, so I have a lot of Packers gear at the house. Yes, and tomorrow and on tomorrow's show, I'm going to wear my Brett Favre jersey and my Packers beanie and have my
Go
cheese
ahead.
finger.
Yeah, because maybe you'll mess up again. Maybe you'll, a la Brett Favre, you'll throw some interceptions with some more of the music.
Yeah, it was a pretty bad show tonight, wasn't it? I ain't gonna lie.
No, it was a great show.
The heck of a
Great
show.
show. We had Tori has been anointed as Wyatt's grandfather. So
Yeah.
Pappy.
Trolling king over there.
Did you see what Aaron said though? Like after it,
no,
like once the cameras were off and stuff, they still recorded him and wanted to see what he said. He walked over to the guy and he was like, I could see at the podium, I can see what you all are writing down, so that way I know like I'm prepared for stuff. He said, as I was watching you write it, he said that was an instant classic. You're forever my friend. That was hilarious.
Do you
That's
think
what Aaron said.
Do you think Aaron Rodgers leaves Green Bay and he has any friends left in Green Bay?
Aaron Rodgers doesn't have any friends anyway. Not even his own family. likes
Oh
him.
my God.
What? It's the truth.
No,
His
it's
own family
not.
doesn't even invite him to family
No,
functions.
his family's ridiculous. Okay.
Okay. It's got to
and
be.
it wasn't- it
Here
was
we go.
Olivia
Packers fan
Munn's
defending
fault.
Aaron Rodgers.
Well, of course
Yep.
I'm going to defend the person that's right in the situation.
He's not right.
So you're telling me that Aaron Rodgers will never leave Green Bay, Wyatt?
I don't know. He might.
We don't really care what you think, Wyatt, because that's how we're going to end the show tonight. Man Hour Nation, Combs, send us out.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.